Okay, I think we should be about live on Advent of Code day 4. Oh, I should probably not play something copyrighted. This is what I needed to do. There we go. Okay, welcome everybody to Advent of Code day 4. It's been a long day, so I hope it's a fun one today. Just got my cappuccino ready, so I think everything is working, so I'll start to read the problem set for today. For those that don't know, Advent of Code, it's a daily programming challenge that consists of 2 parts. Let me just put it in the chat and pin it. Should have probably done that before as well. So you can read up on it, do it yourself. You can also go back to previous years, and it's a lot of fun to do. So yeah, let's see. Day 4, Ceres search. Looks like the chief's not here. Next, one of the historians pulls out a device and pushes the only button on it. After a brief flash, you recognize the interior of the Ceres monitoring station. As the search for the chief continues, a small elf who lives on the station tugs on your shirt. She'd like to know if you could help her with her word search, your puzzle input. She only has to find one word. Xmas, Christmas. The word search allows words to be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, and even overlapping other words. It's a little unusual though, as if you don't merely need to find one instance of Xmas, you need to find all of them. Here are a few ways Xmas might appear, where irrelevant characters have been replaced with a period. Okay? So, diagonally, reversed, up, right, sure, left. Okay. The actual word search will be full of letters instead. So, okay, we'll have something like this. Hey, look, thanks for joining me. I'm just reading today's problem set. In this word search, Christmas occurs a total of 18 times. Here's the same word search again, but where letters not involved in any Christmas have been replaced with a period. Okay. Take a look at the little elf's word search. How many times does Christmas appear? Okay. So to do this, let me first set up the code. But it's pretty straightforward. You have to just walk the grid and then traverse in all 8 directions, and yeah, should be fine. Day 0. This becomes day 4. How did you like today's challenge, Luke? Do you have any issue with it? Was it quick and easy? So far it sounds pretty simple, but that's always tricky. Let's see, day 4, this is set up. I need to make this the starting program like this. I should probably also input the expected test values. We expect it to hit 18 times. Luke says, nice, it's not too hard. Anna Marte, hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's nice to see people keeping me company in the streams, even though all the times have been all over the place, so it's appreciated. Let me copy the test input. That will be this. And I actually have I have built some stuff to make this easier, I think. But it might be a bit complicated. This is a flag enum for direction. Let me see, brick. This was for 3D space as well. Location 3D. A grid with rows, columns. Get walkable neighbors. Yeah, because there's always this accounts for like all the maze walking stuff, so that you could set up from where you can go from a certain direction and current position. So this might be a bit overkill, and I wrote so much code for this and helpers that I probably I'm quicker to just write it again. So yeah, I should probably revisit this and actually refactor some of it, because there's so much code here. I wouldn't even know where to start because it's been a while. So my idea for this would basically do to just pass the entire grid, and then from each character just look in all directions if you can complete a word, and that's basically the solution. So you have the starting letter, which would be X. So we have const char start marker is X. So we look for this one, and then we just do it like that. So we can do list int up, int right. Actually, we can do this vertical, horizontal. We can call this moves is new blah. So then we can do she would do, should I probably, it doesn't matter. I can do like you go up would be -1, 0 like this. This up. Then we do up, right, right, bottom, right, bottom, bottom, left, left, up, left. Basically these are the moves, right? So if you do, this becomes -1, 1. This one becomes 0, 1. This one becomes, we move down and to the right. We move down, but stay at the same location. And I need to remember to put in the commas. Maybe part 2 is just that it will allow you to wrap around or something, but yeah, it's fine. So 1, -1. This will be 0, -1. And this one will be -1, -1. So these are all the valid moves, basically. Let's see. So we do 4. We probably also need to make sure that we map this. We should input 2 lines, and then yeah, 2 lines basically. And this will be just be an array of strings that we can traverse. That is fine. 9berry, hey, hi, good luck and have fun. Yeah, I'll try to do that, thanks. So we do var map equals this, and let's just set it up like this. We make it available here, so we don't only do this once. Like this. Let's also get some int rows calls. So we do rows is map.length, calls is map 0.length, like this. So yeah, basically we enumerate the rows and calls here. So we go for int row is 0, row smaller than rows, increment row. Come on. And we do the same for column, for int call, basically yes. Oh, it's nice that it took over my style of prepending the incrementer. Normally it just does it afterwards. So did I taught my autocomplete my style now? Okay, so basically if map row call equals start marker, check all directions. So basically we need to do bool find, and this will be, we can do a string array here, map int row call, and also we do int vertical int horizontal direction. String expected. Okay. Return false. Come on. Let's return true here. Okay. And the thing that we want to find is actually Christmas const string find to complete is mass in this case. You don't need to double check the Christmas. So probably what we want to do is int matches is moves dot count, and then we do find map find to complete row call x, let's call it move basically. So we do p1 plus equals matches. So like this. Now we just need to implement this finding logic. So for int I is 0, I smaller than len is expected length, I smaller than len, increment I. The reason why I do this, and basically if you have a for loop, there are 3 sections. You have your setup, your incrementer, and your condition. Usually you would probably do the dot length here, but that also means that it gets reevaluated every time because this might change. So if you know for sure that this will never change, it's better to just move it here. But the compiler might be smart enough to know that and optimize it anyways. But yeah, I always try to just structure it that way that no matter what language I program in, I always do it the optimal way. Let's see. So now we need to traverse in that direction. So we first need to do row plus equals direction dot, so the row would be the vertical, direction dot vertical, call plus equals sure, if row smaller than 0 or call smaller than 0, or row larger or equal to rows, or call larger or equal to calls. Why is it complaining? There's a there. Out of bounds of the map, return false. Basically this also means like if map row call does not match expected I, did not match what we expected, return false, otherwise it's fine, right? So basically this will, we pass it 3 letters here. It will start at a certain point, that will be where we hit. So we will ignore that. We will move in the direction that's given, and then we check that the character that we expect there hits. I'm curious. I just want to run it now and see if it actually works, because in my mind this should work. Let's see. Ooh, it worked right away without an error. That's nice. False. Boom. What's the answer? P1 2557. So let's see. Woohoo! First gold star in the bag. Okay. Now, let's see if the way that I did this bit me in the ass for part 2. But, yeah. Let me take a sip of my coffee to celebrate. Continue to part 2. Let's see. The elf looks quizzically at you. Did you misunderstand the assignment? Looking for the instruction, you flip over the word search to find that this isn't actually a Christmas puzzle, it's an X-mass puzzle, in which you're supposed to find 2 mass in the shape of an X. Okay, that's cool. One way to achieve that is like this. Irrelevant characters have been again replaced with a period in the above diagram. Within the cross, each mass can be written forwards or backwards. Here is the same example from before, but this time all of the Christmases have been kept instead. Okay, that's just fun. Basically what we will do now is just have like a masking thing. But yeah, that's fun. Basically you need to check like 5 relevant positions. It needs to have, oh no, actually you can just check every A and then check the corners for 2 of each. No, they have to be opposite sides. Yeah, this is fun. I like it. Yeah, so the target for part 2 will be the A. And then we will check this corner. Whatever this is, either an M or an S, we need to find the same on the other opposite side, and we do the same here. So it's pretty easy, just need to change the logic a little bit. Yeah, I like this, it's fun. And we also can just start at 1, 1 instead of 0, 0, because we can't find an A in those conditions, and we can stop earlier as well. So basically we scan this and then do the same here. So we only scan the inner border. I like this. Let's see, irrelevant channels, yeah, in the above diagram, sure, here's the same example from before, but this time all of the Christmases have been kept instead. In this example, Christmas appears 9 times. Flip the word search from instructions back to, okay, sure. And it can be in any order, so that's fine. Yeah, I like this challenge. I have to change some code, but it's a fun little thing. Let's see, the answer for real for this one is this, and I think this one was 9 if I remember correctly. Yeah, 9 times, okay. Yeah, I like this challenge. Sad that it's already over, basically, but no mind. So we call the start marker P1. And then we get a start marker P2. No errors, something must be broken. Yeah. And then we have opposite marker A is M. Opposite marker B is S. Thanks, nice for the stars. Okay. Yeah, so let's code up part 2. This one will be somewhat similar, but not the same. Because we won't do the expected length. We do here char marker A, char marker B. Find cross. Let's just also change the name, that will be good. We don't need the direction here. So yeah, let's do this. none of this matters because we will make sure that we enumerate only the edges. So the for loops will be changed for part 2. So basically what we need to do now is map yeah, I can actually put named locations here. So I can do const top left is -1, -1. Will it let me do that? No. Okay, no matter. Static read only is your friend. Okay, so we have top left, top right equals -1, 1. Bottom right equals 1, 1. Bottom left is 1, -1, right? So now I can also just put named variables in here since we already put them. So up left will be this one, up right will be this one, bottom right will be this one, and bottom left is this one. We have them anyway, so why not? Boom, 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 boom. So now we need to do char marker found marker A equals let's say first marker is map row plus let's do up left top left dot vertical, and then we do col plus top left dot horizontal. Sure. Let's just do top left like this, and we also need to check bottom right. Efficiency wise, you might do a few more checks. Ideally you would probably check one, then do the other. Let me see. If top left equals marker A, fine. Else if top left equals marker B, fine. Else return false. Invalid marker top left. Right. Basically, this logic will need to repeat twice, so I could make a function out of that, but it's fine. So if this is the case, we need to make sure that we take the bottom right one. So we can do char this if bottom right equals marker B. No, basically if it's not, we do return false. Opposite marker did not match. Otherwise it's fine. Do the same here. Just need to make sure that this is bottom right and not top left. And by now I'm already of the mindset that I don't care about doing an additional lookup because it just becomes annoying. Like this. This one is B, this one needs to be A. That's the first half checked, and then we need to repeat this again, but for the other crosses, right? So now we can do top right and bottom left, top right, bottom left. And basically we have the same logic block here. If top right equals marker A, we expect the other one to be marker B. If the bottom left doesn't match that, it's okay. And if it gets to the end here, it's all fine. So this should be the logic if I'm correct. Let me see, top right, bottom left. Yeah, I think this should be fine. And now the loop is just a little bit different. Because what we want to do is we start at 1. Actually, we call this, let's call it edge. That's better. I like this better. Okay. So same here. Call. Do we do call edge is calls -1. We want to be smaller than the call edge, like this. So this is what I said earlier. We skip around the borders because we don't need to find them. And then we basically do this. Start marker P2. And in this case we do if find cross map opposite marker A, opposite marker B, and then we do row call. If that is the case, we do P2, we increment that one. Okay, let's do the test case here. True. Okay, I think that also, nope, that didn't work. Cool, we have some debugging to do. Oh, and the process crashed, that's nice. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to here. Basically, index 2,1 already needs to have a hit, so let's find out why that doesn't work. This is something else. Let me just pull up this one. Let's go here. Actually, boom. No, I have a breakpoint for the wrong one. This one needs to be start marker P2. Okay. So now we have row 1, call 2. Whoa. See, I'm an idiot. This needs to be the A. See, that's what you get for copy pasting. And now it works. So the code was fine. I just had the wrong start marker there. False. And that's why I really like having this one here, because it catches some wrong assumptions early. That's still a lot, but it should be fine. Woohoo! Second gold star in the bag. Okay, it was nice and easy. Only made one mistake, and it was not changing the marker when copying this. So yeah, it's nice when you write out all this code and it works right away. But then again, it's still a fairly easy problem. At least the solution came to me right away. So yeah, I mean, this is still a duplication, and I was thinking about, okay, how could I I should probably define these pairs here as offsets, and then you can make it nicer and deduplicate this code a bit. So you probably have like, how do you call it? You could probably just say corner 1, point, and then opposite, for example. You would call this, let's say, top left to bottom right, for instance, right? And then you would make this value be, so this would be let's see, top left, bottom right. Something like this, and then you do top right to bottom left, top right to bottom left, yes. So you do top right, bottom left, and now you could probably define these. Let's see, how would we do this? Crosses is new. It becomes so ugly. Should probably just have a type for it by now, like a record or whatever. Yeah, you don't need to new that up. Gets a bit better. So now what you would do is probably char A, B. So you would do for each cross and crosses, you do A is, and then you get this, right? Map with cross dot point dot vertical and horizontal, and B becomes the opposite of that. So this will be opposite, and then you would check like if A equals marker A and B equals marker B, or the inverse of that, A is marker B and this is marker A, fine. And if that's not the case, you return false. So you would do negate both of this. And this also becomes a bit ugly, right? Because you would wrap another one around those statements. And then here you would do return false, value don't cross. But you might want to make another bool out of that, so that you do like bool matches opposite. So char A, char B, char valid A, and oh no, you could actually make this a hash set, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Char valid A, char valid B. So you would, if A isn't, valid A and B equals valid B, return true. So if you write the positive case, it gets a bit clearer, right? So you make sure that either one of those matches, and then the other one matches the other one. So it would be if not matches opposite, A comma B comma marker A marker B. return false. See, this cleans up the logic a lot more there. And I believe this is probably the same as what happens here. So let me just make sure that that works. Let me see. And then did I set up the actual value for part 2 here? No, I don't think so. Let me see what the value was. 1854. So now if I run it again, it should still work. Okay. So now we cleaned up this logic into a little helper here. This is still a bit ugly for my liking, but it's okay. I'm happy with it like this. So it's I always like to refactor stuff. So if you look at like this code before, this is quite noisy, quite messy. It's hard to spot things. So if you reduce that back down to this, I think this is quite okay to follow. So you check the two crosses, make sure that they match opposites. If they don't, boom. Yeah, I like this. I just don't like this declaration. I think this could be nicer, but yeah, happy. I was avoiding Discord today because I saw people chatting in show off your stuff. So let's see what happened today. Okay, made some readability improvements, at least for me. People at my company kind of hate it. This is for part 3, day 3 from yesterday. Let's see. Basically, these are just functions, right? It's not that bad. Else if string, what does it do? Okay. Yeah, the previous version with all the switch cases was fun. This is a lot more concise, probably easier to follow. But the other was like, it almost looked a bit like obfuscated malware, where you have like lots of stuff in control flow, but it looked cool. And it reminded me of like whenever you start creating a game and you have to you have all this stuff going on, and usually if you don't make a state machine right out of the gate, you get yourself into trouble. You find your way just boiling it back down to, okay, which kind of states can there be at one point, and it really reminded me of that. So yeah, let's see. Amarte says it's been some time for me to look at C# code like that. I have to think for a second of what's going on my code here. Sure, if you have any questions, feel free to I can go through it quickly and just tell me if there's something unclear. Something that I do in all my classes here is that I set up the expected tests and the expected answers. Why do I also do the answers? That's for when I do refactoring like now. I can run the code again and make sure that I haven't broken something while refactoring some code. So the first approach revolved around finding, basically what I did was to scan, let me just boop this, advent code here. What I did was, since you need to find the word Christmas, the X only occurs once in that word. It's the starting point of the word that we need to find. So I figured, okay, I'll just scan line by line to see if it's an X. And if we hit an X, we just check in every direction outward from that. And we count all the matches that we find from that originating point, and then proceed there. So that's basically what I do. Let me just see this one. Oh man, I have so much stuff here. I have so many windows open. So that was basically what I did here. I set up all the directions. This makes me just enumerate through like a single movement. So let's say we want to go upwards. You just specify the offset in both x and y direction. In this case, y, x. So you can just take the x and y, add them with these values. So if it's a 0, it does nothing. And that way you traverse in a singular direction. So the function that I made, it gives you the whole map, because what I always try to do is, if I write functions like this, try to not go outwards. So if you write a function, the nicest way to do it and avoid breaking stuff later on is to make sure that you pass everything that function needs to the function, so that it doesn't go looking outside of its function for data or stuff. So that's what I do here. That's why I pass in this map, even though technically it's just here. I pass it to the function so that if I change something outside, it's the same. So yeah, it will. The design here was, okay, if we found the x, we need to find the remaining letters, which was mass. So that was what I defined here in a constant, MAS. I pass it here, so then I check all those directions, make sure that I don't go outside of bounds of the map, because one thing that I thought of that might occur for part 2 is to wrap around the map. So that you would have to go to the other side and let it continue. So that's why I added the check here, expecting to maybe having to remove and implement that. And that's what this grid thing that I built before, which is totally over-engineered, but it has support for all those things. So it checks if it's still a valid move, and then it just traverses all those characters in the direction, and if it doesn't match, you exit early. Let's see. Hi, yes, I've done the same basically, just a bit lost by C stuff like multi-tuples and for eaches and those that need to get used again, but the idea is the same. I was also expecting wrapping, but not this time. Okay. Yeah, so this is pretty ugly, and I think people really don't do this anymore, but they instead would make a record. So you would, like, if you want to do this, they would probably do like public read-only record direction int horizontal and vertical, something like this, I think, if my memory serves correctly. Oh yeah, I'll just do it like this, because my name is isn't it? Okay, it's just a direction. I already have a direction in this namespace. That's a bit of the issue. I can just call it D. So public record opposite directions. So then I can do D, A, D, B, something like this, and then you would just define those here. So you would, let me just put it like this. So you would do opposite directions, crosses is like this, and then you would do and then you do this basically. And you will probably define them in that way. Let's see. Is record a class with public variables properties, or has it some other functionality? Yeah, it's basically like the old struct with some optimizations. I'm sure Microsoft can tell you better about it. Record. So I'll just drop this here. It's something that was added a few years ago, and it's like the recommended way of doing this, rather than what I do with the value tuples, because there is more support and optimization for stuff, and it's worth looking into. The value tuples come so easy to me that it's like while I'm thinking of stuff, I usually jot down value tuples because it just lets me move forward without breaking my thought. Records require a bit more work for me, but it's basically the same. So you could do everything that I do here. And it's really annoying that direction is already taken. So I can actually make them local to here. So I could probably call this direction. See, that's better. And then I can call this cross. Actually, the name point and opposite wasn't that bad. Opposite. So now what I can do is I can make all of these directions. This becomes new direction. One direction now. But yeah. Now I can do it like this. This one will become a list of directions. Boom. So you get new direction here. Like this. So these are not named, these are just like that. And then you would have call these cross parts is new cross array, and then just have two new crosses here. So we do new cross, and this one would be yeah, I can just call these here, and then the other one like that. And now I've converted it all to records, right? And now I can basically yeah, cross. And theoretically, all the code should still be the same, except I have a build error now. Let's see. Ah, yeah. The find should now take in a direction. I think that should be it. And now it all still works. Okay. See? So now instead of the value tuples, we made two new types. Record types defined in class because solution already contains direction. Records. Okay. So yeah, now you just cleaned it up. So now you have you've given the value tuples basically a type name, so that you can refer to it by a name instead of the exact type. Because if you look at it like this, it still has that value tuple kind of style, but you just gave an alias to it, right? So that means that if you create a new list, you don't have to describe it by the actual value tuple, but you can call it by the new name that it got. So you can do this var, and then it doesn't like that. Okay. And I can new it up here actually. So the reason why I use var a lot is because something that I really dislike is just putting in the type name twice. So you do list int x is new list int. It's like, okay, there's really no need why this name sheet needs to be there twice. So what I would do up to like a year ago would just do var x is new list of int, because, well, the type information is there, I don't need it twice, right? But they added something that you can just, if you put the type declaration at the start, you can just anonymously new it up, and it will be an alias underwater for a new list of int of the type that's in front. So this also reduces the noise. That's one of the things that I usually try to do to make sure that the code gets reduced in noise, so that everything that you see matters more. That makes it easier to reason about and catch bugs and stuff like that. But yeah, and then I just copy things and don't change the marker. Sanka Software, hello, just got home from work. Good. Nice to see you. It's been a year. Have you done any of the Advent of Code this year? I just finished up day 4. It was a nice problem. It's a bit easy and quick, but it was fun to do. It was more work than the previous days, but not harder per se. Yeah, I think we cleaned it up pretty okay. Let's see, is there anything else that we should refactor here? Any suggestions? I should probably look at what you did for code. I can clean this up here. Amarte said, yeah, I did the same with today's code, cleaned it up with macros again. Sanka Safa said, I got day 1 complete, today part 1 complete, and both parts for day 3 so far. Ah, nice. Did you run into an issue for day 2? I can't even remember what was day 2. Ah, yeah, okay. Did you run into an issue where you wanted to do the second part nicely and not do the brute forcey approach, or what stopped you from doing part 2 for day 2? I won't spoiler it for you if you want to take a stab at it again, but I was actually really happy with my day 2 because I realized the exact logic and restrictions that you need to do for part 2 so that you do it the optimal way. Some customers I can't figure out how to remove where I need to remove. Okay. If you want, I can walk you through what I did, but you probably want to take a look at it again later, right? And there's Reddit threads, etc. There's so much stuff that you can do. But if you want, I can tell you. But first, let's look at some of day 4's solution from other people in chat. Boom. Mark this day 4. Let me zoom it in a bit. Boom. Let's see. Get day. I adopted the same style of the variables there. It's nice. Okay, I'm having a bit of trouble reading this, but let me give it a shot. Sanka first says, I won't be able to do much because I'm going to go out of the country for the next 4 days. Well, it's nice to travel, and Advent of Code will still be waiting for you here when you get back. So there's always time to do it if you want. Okay, good night, Luke. Thanks for keeping me company. I will go through. Did you put in your code in the Discord, or? I'm not even sure you are in my Discord, right? You can WhatsApp me if you have it handy, and otherwise I'll talk to you soon. Let's see, let's go back to the code. Okay, so this is probably a memory address for the start of the row, or let me see. Like the X and the underscore X, I am having a bit of trouble figuring out what is which here. So this will be the row, I assume. Yeah, let's try there. Sure. Yeah, okay, so this is what you're trying to look at. So roll, call, and expected character. So this is a bounce check. This is the character lookup, and to make sure that it's Martin says, I don't know if you're familiar with C. This is a market. Yeah, sure. But I was trying to figure out, okay, you do x plus this part here. So I was wondering, where is the x here? Because it only passes this one. So preprocessor replaces macro itself with the actual code in place. Yes. Okay. But I was just wondering where this one was defined because I didn't see that one yet. Or I missed something. You're going to love it when you find out. Okay, so it has this context here. That's confusing. Okay. It's a bit, right? Because this will be placed inside here in this context, so when it gets placed here, it will have the X available. So that must be a pain to validate, because how... So it would have to check every place where this code is used, and make sure that in every one of those places it then has access to this. Okay. Yeah, it takes a bit to wrap the brain around it, but sure. Let's see. Is Mass East? Okay, so yeah, it checks that with the offset, sure. Right, all variables are being taken directly from the method. These macros are for this method only. Mindberry says it means that the compiler can show you errors in code that's not actually there. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, but I figured it out now. Okay, so this is basically all the locations hard coded out. So the way that basically you increment each offset by hand for the length here. So the downside of doing it like this would be that if they ask you to do too much characters, you would have to then extend this with... So the basic idea of having those direction variables where you shift it off is that you get a lot more flexibility. Yeah, Nineberry showed me some errors I've made by cleaning before pushing to GitHub. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Let's see, Nineberry, what did you do? Count word from c.key, and key is in this case a location, probably cell, so all directions, sure, count word. Was there a reason why you did the 0 and 1? So did you expect that there maybe would be a different scoring, or let's see, why not use recursion if possible? Yeah. I just did a count with a Boolean function, but yeah, basically if there was a way to increase the score or change it differently, this would let you change less code. Is crossed Christmas if cell center point? Sure. Okay. I void the function called by checking it before even doing the rest, but check axis ms. Axis ends. Okay. Sure. Yeah, nice. I think I've already like coded this out so many times already. Like I think if I search for northwest, no? If I do -1, -1, I'm sure I'll find lots of that. Neighbors. Hard-coded, hard-coded. Neighbors. Starting point. It's adjacent. Sometimes you write so many code when you go back like a few years later, you have no clue anymore. Let's see. Nightmare says I always copy that code from previous days. Yeah, what I did last year, and I think I just copied it over here. I built this like, and I don't even remember some of this, but this whole grid system, like with this has. I can probably show you if I find all references. Because I have like a whole thing where you map. It was like day 21, I think. Yeah, here. So you have I have a start marker, garden marker, rock marker. So then I would have these, and it would just I do it 2 lines. Map as grid locations. I gave a start marker, garden marker, rock marker, and that would just set up like the start marker, the garden location, rock locations, etc. Let's see. Suncast Surfer says, would you care to share your updated extensions class? Yeah, sure. I think I have like a video from a while ago where I shared, so I would have to compare how much it changed. I could probably update that GIF, that gist. No, we're not gonna watch my own video together here, but there's a gist here. Oh, that's the wrong one. I think this is the extension class back then, and the one that I use now or have now. It has a bit more stuff there, but not by that much. Like, this is very niche stuff for actual days. Like, it's off by 1 bit. But there's also a different way to do this that's built in. Let's see. I thought about putting that kind of code into a library, but there's always some specific variations needed, so rather copy. It's not as if the individual days have to be maintained. No, that's true. Amarte says, I still need to port code for downloading input from AOC. It's just a bit harder if you want no libraries from Linux world. Couldn't you just like call curl, or would that be cheating for you? I'm not sure what you want to do, but I have like this solution base class. This is basically all the logic. To do the automatic input stuff. It's not that complicated, but of course there's a web client here that does all the heavy lifting. No, curl is also Windows. Yeah, cmd curl, boom. I think it's been in part of Windows for like 12 years or something like that. It's really cool. They added it a long time ago. And also Windows has like the WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux, and so you can also add stuff like Nmap natively and stuff like that. It's really nice. Oh yeah, I was going through the extensions, I think. But yeah, there's lots of specific stuff in here. Like the only thing that I use a lot is like the as in 32s, which basically just takes the lines and makes sure it's parsed as ins. And no, it's the Hackspent SA guy. So if I do a curl help version, see, lip curl, it's the actual curl, I think. Oh, you mean that before it was an alias? I don't know that, but I know it's been in Windows for quite a while. But yeah. Was it like curl.harks with SA? I can't remember. Brings me back to the old days. Yeah, it could be. I'm a bit foggy on the details, but yeah. I just know that it's been in Windows for a while. And Amarte says, well then, so it would be just a partial cheating. Yeah. Oh yeah, about the extensions, like there's very niche stuff here that hardly gets used, but like split white space as in 32s when you have like the grid where like it's all aligned. But I can share it, it's no problem. I'll put it in a gist and I'll link it in the video description for when this is done processing. So there is a bunch of useful stuff in here. Something that I really like and used way too much of was like, and it's even hard to find out where the code starts. That's this stuff, which is basically my ass, which just makes sure that I can do all sorts of monstrosities to parse the data into a strong type, but it gets really ugly and hard to do, so it's probably best to not use it, but I had a lot of fun with that. And the split by, etc. I use some of this code actually in other projects as well. Oh yeah, this map as bool is also for all those map traversal things. This makes a sparse map out of a mapped thing. Find char reverse. Yeah. I still want to go back and do some of the older stuff, but I'll be sure to, after the stream ends, I'll drop it all into a file, put it in the gist, and link it in the code. And I'll also drop it in Discord. Happy holidays, random guy I found. Hi, Hummus Stealer. How did you end up on my stream, if I may ask? It's always nice to see new faces, but this is very niche, so it's always nice to know how and why people found you. If you're curious, we did Advent of Code. The pinned comment has a link to it. It's a programming challenge, so if you're into programming, I can highly recommend taking a look there. I should probably round... actually, was there another Discord posted code here? No, I'll just read this chat later when I'm offline. Recommended page. Well, are you into technology, programming at all? Or is it just really YouTube trying to be kind to me? So. I hate to stop streaming while you're here, but yeah, I think it's about time that I end the stream because we've done the coding, and there will be another stream tomorrow at a random time where I try the next set of problems from Advent of Code. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and chatting. It's always fun. So if you're into this stuff, feel free to check me out again tomorrow. I also have playlists of previous days, and yeah. So if it's programming or security stuff that you're into, got some videos for you. So for now, I just want to thank everybody for keeping me company. It's been nice. I really like streaming, and I wish I had more reason to do it the rest of the year, because I always think about doing more and creating stuff, but yeah, I never get around to it. So let's just cherish Advent of Code and have some fun. So have a good one, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye bye.